Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. It is February 26th, and you're here with me in the beginning of the week. And of course, I am still in Stockholm, Sweden. And it is snowing outside, and it is cold. And I'm been up quite early. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna talk a little bit again about the little voice in our head, because I realize that, it is so valuable, this little voice in our head, because this little voice in our head, it is the conversations that happen in your mind or in your brain that are constantly there. And they affect your moods, and they can affect your moods, and they can affect everything. Now, I speak about this, and I will continue to speak about this, because for me, it is something that is so incredible to realize and keep realizing, and it is so strong in the mind that it is really part of the ego and part of the guidance system that is there. And it's so important, because as you become aware of your thoughts, you become very curious, and as the observer of those thoughts, you become really, really familiar with the constant change of those thoughts, be it positive or negative. And I'm in a place right now where I observe my thoughts, and they are, I feel like I've talked about this a lot, and like nobody wants to hear this, but it's really, in order for us to change, and we will change because circumstances change all the time. Instead of changing automatically and slowly, perhaps, there comes a time for me that I started to become very curious about these thought patterns that I have, and where they're coming from, and what makes me think certain things that I think that are kind of maybe strange or odd, or that I don't want to have, particularly about myself, first of all, and then about others. And these thoughts can really, how can you say, influence you to gossip, to make fun of other people, to make fun of yourself, which isn't a bad thing. And let me just say also too, that none of this is bad. Like for me, none of it is bad, because I realize that it is there, and it's constantly there, and it's constantly there, but the power of it, it loses its grip, and it's like you can have a conversation with it, and having a conversation with it is so amazing, because it is constant. And in order to make change, if you're at all interested in making change, and I believe in my journey here on this planet, it's power, and it's allowing that voice to be there, and realizing, gosh, all that I can do, these tools, this meditation, a constant attention to it, be it positive or negative. And I do mean that, because it's like, all of them arise and fall. And again, I feel like, in myself, my thought says, gosh, you repeat this all the time, but behind that is a big, big, huge secret for yourself to be able to fall in love. And I believe that's the word, to fall in love unconditionally with that voice. And that voice is important, because when you recognize this impermanence of this voice, because it's like it is there. Like for instance, what is when you're so much, and that the world outside of you that says so much, that places so much importance on looks, and so much importance on intelligence, or how can you say, not importance on like what you have, and your materialistic things define who you are and what kind of job you're doing, and all of these things that are there. Just like right now, my mind can talk to me, so I'm observing my mind, and I say all these things a lot. So just by, if I want to make changes of that, I'm aware of that. So I'm aware all the time, and that's a really cool relationship to myself. And before it hijacks me, it's like there's an opportunity to like really let it go. And I'm in a pretty good space right now, so I can really share this like freely and share it with ease, because I feel good in my skin. By recognizing this voice and watching it, and observe it and responding to it the best way I can in every situation teaches me. And that is really a valuable jewel. Like, it's like a diamond in my pocket. And a diamond in my pocket to be able to recognize, because I want peace and harmony and with myself, and any kind of negative action that I would give to others is not what I want to do, because I want to be conscious of that. You know, and circumstance, you know, like if someone's in your face, like yelling, or, you know, you're challenged with egos that most likely are not conscious of their actions and their behaviors, and so therefore they behave in the old way that they do. Well, you know, it's like, why are we here? You know, there's not so much talk about, sometimes what I'm talking about is grace and potential to discover that diamond that is in your pocket. And that diamond in your pocket is one of the most beautiful things that you can discover, one of them. And what happens, what I feel, is that this voice doesn't last too long, be it positive or negative, and I'm constantly in the moment. This is happening for me all the time, you know, and you can change. I lost my train of thought a little bit, but you can change the way you relate to that voice. And you know, it is a constant thing. And as you do that, oh, I know what I remember what I was saying, is that diamond in your pocket, and that's just the first diamond. There's so much to discover within consciousness, and to discover for yourself by choosing to live in the moment this way, and being respectful to each other, and being respectful for yourself, because, you know, the whole cliche maybe thing of right now, because it's really popular, is the one thing, you know, that I say all the time, but it is true. We are one, and none of us are separate from each other. So, you know, when you have these challenges, that you're challenged with complicated people or toxic people that come into your life, you know, those are really opportunities for you to recognize what part of yourself is also toxic, and to be able to forgive, like, instantly the situation, and to learn from the situation. Now, we're not really taught these kind of things, and we never really talk about these kind of things, and that's why I share on my channel, here, basically actually for myself, to remind myself in this daily diary that I have, or this weekly diary that I have, so I can constantly keep attention on that. Now, sometimes it becomes really exhausting, and I guess it depends on what kind of mood you're in, what kind of state you're in, or mood you're in, that to promote certain behaviors, you know, because, you know, I can be really tired and feeling, or at least my mind says I'm insecure, and so therefore I react in my old way, and I can feel, it's like that fight and flight response. And if you don't know what that is, then you know, it's something to also recognize our primal state. And our primal state is sometimes either to fight or to run. And that is really primal, and that is really a feeling that we have sometimes, or to hide, or because the feeling of vulnerability that you would want to actually incorporate in yourself, in your daily activities, because this is when it happens. This is the most important, is your daily activities, I believe. For myself, for sure, is that to recognize that do I want to fight, which is something more or less like allow. Maybe you can see that it sounds contradictory, but allowing it is to fight this feeling of being automatic. And but not fight in the sense of like, oh, it's just a struggle. But sometimes it does feel like a struggle. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You know, everything is so interesting. So the possibility that lies in every situation is there, and being conscious of that constantly is incredible. And you know, I like the metaphor that we as people are like, you know, like the 4 seasons. And it can happen, those 4 seasons can happen in one single day. And one single situation, an hour. And, you know, by observing that and stepping back and being able to, I don't know, make a choice out of love, not from fear. Fear of yourself, fear of feeling vulnerable, fear of sharing intimacy, fear of sharing because you feel like maybe you'll be ridiculed or judged from that. And that's all okay to feel that vulnerability so you can advance to the next stages that you want to advance to. And I feel that, you know, I'm like, I don't know, apparently half my life, but I want to live as long as I can live. And because I really love it. Now, and some days I just don't feel like doing anything, and that's okay. All of it's okay because it teaches me, and it gives me an opportunity to recognize how the power of my intentions, and the power of my intentions are so readily available for me when I'm consistent with the moment. And the moment is so precious, and it has so much validity. It's valid, the moment, and the choices in your behavior are valid for your growth. And that is something that I want as we start our week this week. I just want to say that, and I just feel so right now really really soft in my heart, and really loving to myself, and sharing that, and just recognizing that it all is part of the play and the game, as you see, of life. And I don't know, it seems more natural for me to be in love with that, and love with unconditional love around me, and being able to accept it and make implied decisions for myself, so I can have less struggling and less stress, or just being kind. Just being a kind person in society, so we can advance to another paradigm, if you will. And that's just all I want to say today. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day, and be with yourself. You know, it's like meditate. Choose love over fear, as a suggestion. Do what you want. It is your journey. And in time, we all come to recognize this play in life, and that we have a possibility to make change. And nothing is final, even moments and moods. Nothing's final. Thank you for watching, and I love you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'm gonna go to work and share myself, and be constantly open to what comes to me, and make an implied decision. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.